weather. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, we saw the last little bit of that cloud cover on its way out this morning as the afternoon rolled around. Definitely watching that West Texas sun pushes all the way up into those 90s. But as things dry out, those mosquitoes definitely on the rise with that humidity now. Quiet weather's making its way in, so we're getting ready to shut things down here in the Storm Team Weather Center, but it's going to help with the cleanup, and there's a long way to go. Now, temperatures over the last 24 hours all the way down into those lower 70s. Then we fired right up into those lower 90s, and we're leveling out right now at 90 degrees. We're going to drop right back down into those 70s, and that's where we're going to stay for quite a while with some of this dry weather. Finally, I bet you guys are ready for a break. 90 in San Angelo. Everybody else in a combination of lower 90s and those upper 80s across the entire area. Looking for 10 degrees today because it's pretty quiet out there. 95 in Robert Lee, 90 down there in Junction, looking like 6 degrees across the entire Concho Valley, but perfect if you want to get out there and enjoy yourself or participate in some cleanup. Dew points are in those 70s and those 60s, while humidity indices are around that 50% mark across the entire area. So seeing some pretty steady air make its way through the entire region, but we're on the lookout for more cloud development as we get closer towards that 70-degree mark. At this point, you guys are getting pretty good at the weather after seeing some pretty intense downpours. Now, keeping our eye on the concentration of orange and yellow around the Gulf Coast is trying to turn into a tropical storm, but it's not getting there at all. Just not enough fuel despite seeing a lot of those warm sea surface temperatures. It's going to steer clear of the Concho Valley. While looking at the upper level pattern, high pressure going to be driving this storm, at least keeping it from forming. But we take a good look as we make our way into the weekend. High pressure going to push in from the west, and that's going to keep us in those lower 90s. But I promise you, by the time we get to the 7-day, I have not cut and copied that forecast. The numbers are just exactly the same. Water vapor imagery showing you the explosion going over Wisconsin, pushing into Illinois, and every storm chaser is up towards the northeast. Down at the severe weather outlook, it's parts of Colorado and parts of Wisconsin into Michigan. Down at the surface, some quiet weather down here in Texas, but you see a lot of that severe weather popping off, as well as a ginormous tornado watch box for the entire state of Wisconsin. We take it into this tropical weather as it pushes in over New Orleans. Now, really just sort of nailing down when it's going to arrive into our sort of neck of the woods, really just East Texas, but sea surface temperatures going strong in those lower 90s. Here's the future cast as it slowly takes aim at us, really just keeping our eye on the southerly flow that makes its way in as a result of the storm. On-off cloud cover, but you really see it holding off some of those storms and some of those light pockets of rain around the Panhandle, if not somewhere near the Big Bend, the Sierra Madres, just West Texas. As we get closer towards the weekend, I start to run out of data, but Stephen gets a closer look at it as it tries to make its way in here. But I don't think anybody's going to disagree with some of that tropical weather not making its way up this weekend. So tonight, all the way back down into those lower 70s, it's going to be feeling like the beach out there. Then tomorrow, we are practicing hot weather safety for the remainder of the week because we're going to be leveling out in those lower 90s while those overnight lows are just hanging out in those lower 70s. Take a good look. 93, 94, 95 by the weekend. Make good plans. If not, get out there and help with that cleanup because that's exactly how it's going to stay while those overnight lows just stay in those lower 70s. Stay tuned. I'm up at the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.